Life gets so busy, doesn't it? With everything we're juggling, it's easy to let something really important kind of slip.
It really is. And today, we're diving into one of those things, character, its role in our lives.
Exactly. We've been looking at Mark at Knowledge is King, or K.I.K, who talks a lot about personal growth, ethical living,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff really highlights how these inner qualities, they actually affect us in really big ways.
Yeah, far-reaching effects, totally.
So our mission really for this deep dive is to unpack what character even is.
Right.
And maybe more importantly, understand the surprising kind of concrete ways developing it helps our mental and physical health.
It's not just abstract.
No. Think of this as like your shortcut to getting why good character isn't just nice. It's vital for a full life.
Absolutely vital.
So let's get right into it then. Character, what are we actually talking about here?
Well, okay, at its heart, character is sort of the collection of qualities, traits, values, beliefs, attitudes, behaviors. Basically everything that defines who you are as a person.
Right, the unique mix.
Exactly. What makes you you.
Okay, let's break that down a little. The source material we looked at, it points to some pretty universally recognized positive traits, right?
Yeah, definitely. Things that come up again and again.
Like honesty, obviously, being truthful,
Crucial.
integrity. That's like doing the right thing even when no one's watching.
Yeah, that consistency. And empathy, too. Understanding, sharing others' feelings.
Right, empathy. Humility comes up as well. Keeping perspective on yourself.
Not getting carried away. And responsibility, owning your stuff, your actions.
And consequences, yeah.
It's interesting, too, how this idea isn't new. It resonates across time, cultures.
Oh, for sure.
The source even mentions Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who apparently said something like, the best of you are those with the best character.
Wow.
And that his whole purpose was to perfect good character.
Yeah.
It really shows how deeply valued this has always been.
Yeah, it really underscores that enduring importance, doesn't it? These inner qualities. It makes you think, though, how can these things, which seem kind of intangible, how do they have such a solid effect on, say, our mental well-being?
That's the fascinating link, isn't it?
Yeah. The insights from K.I.K suggest that people with strong moral values, a clear sense of purpose, they tend to have lower stress, less anxiety.
And they bounce back better.
Yeah.
More resilient.
Right. Why do you think that actually works?
Well, one angle is this potential for reducing inner conflict. If your actions line up with what you truly believe,
Okay.
it kind of minimizes that, what psychologists call cognitive dissonance.
Ah, yeah, I've heard of that uncomfortable feeling when things clash.
Exactly. When your thoughts or actions don't match your beliefs, reducing that internal static, that friction, it can definitely lead to more peace of mind. And that usually means lower stress levels.
That makes total sense. It's like having an internal guidepost, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The source calls it an inner compass. Good character as an inner compass.
I like that.
When you know what you think is right or wrong, navigating tricky situations gets easier, less fraught.
You have a framework.
Yeah, a framework for making choices that feel right deep down. That must breed stability, that inner peace it mentions.
Definitely. And then think about how that connects outwards to our social lives.
Okay.
Those positive traits, honesty, reliability, empathy, they naturally help build stronger relationships, more
Yeah.
supportive ones.
Right. People are drawn to that. You trust people like that.
You do.
Yeah.
And building those real connections, that's like a buffer, isn't it? Against stress, against feeling
Yeah.
isolated.
Absolutely. That social support network. We know how huge that is for mental health.
Huge.
The source mentioned research linking strong social ties with lower rates of depression, anxiety.
It's pretty well established.
It feels intuitive, doesn't it? Knowing you have people, your people, who care and you can count on, it gives you that sense of belonging.
Yeah, makes it easier to handle the rough patches.
And maintain a more positive outlook overall. It's almost like a virtuous cycle,
Totally. Good character leads to better relationships.
which boosts your mental well-being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A self-reinforcing loop.
Now, here's where it got even more interesting for me. The idea that this doesn't just stop at our minds, it seems to affect our physical health too.
Yes. This is really compelling stuff. The benefits aren't just mental.
That really jumped out. The piece talks about how having good character often leads to healthier habits.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you value integrity, you're more likely to stick to commitments you make to yourself, right?
Like exercise or diet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sticking to that workout plan, eating well. It's that internal consistency driving the behavior.
Right, that follow-through. Because it aligns with your values.
Hmm.
And that obviously directly impacts your physical health long term. Could reduce risks for chronic illness.
It's the alignment paying off physically.
Yeah, tangible benefits over time.
And it gets even more specific than just general habits. There's research apparently linking certain traits to better physical outcomes. The example given was empathy being linked to lower rates of cardiovascular disease.
Wow, really? Empathy.
Yeah. That was striking. How could that work? What's the connection there?
That's a great question. The source sort of hints that maybe empathy leads to more positive social interactions
Okay, that makes sense.
and maybe just lower overall stress levels because of those better connections and maybe how you process things.
Hmm.
And we know both of those things. Good social ties, less stress, are definitely good for your heart health.
Right. Well-established factors.
It just highlights how interconnected it all is, mental, emotional, physical.
Yeah. And character is like this thread running underneath it all.
Exactly, weaving through that whole complex web.
Okay, so we've got a clearer picture of what character is, why it's so important. But I guess for everyone listening, the big question is, okay, how do we do that? How do we actually cultivate these qualities?
Yeah, the practical side. And the good news is, character isn't set in stone. It's something we can actively work on, develop, strengthen.
Okay, so how? What are the steps?
Well, the source gives some practical ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Key one is just identifying the specific traits you want to embody more.
Like pick one.
Yeah, maybe start with one or two. Like if you want to be more honest, you consciously practice being truthful in everything, even small stuff.
Little daily choices.
Or if you want more empathy, you deliberately try to listen better, really hear people, try to see their perspective.
Even when you disagree.
Especially when you disagree. It's about bringing that conscious attention, that intention, to your daily life.
And it's not about being perfect right away, is it? I mean, the source talks about self-reflection.
Oh, absolutely crucial. Growth isn't linear. We're all going to mess up, make mistakes.
For sure.
The important bit is recognizing it, learning from it, and consciously trying to adjust, do better next time. That willingness to learn, to evolve, is character development.
That makes sense. And what about the people around us? Does that matter?
Hugely. The source definitely highlights surrounding yourself with people who also value good character.
Like role models.
Yeah, role models, sources of encouragement, even just accountability,
Yeah.
People who kind of keep you honest.
Right. Having that supportive environment.
It makes a big difference.
Okay, so let's try and bring this all together. For everyone listening, it seems really clear that developing good character, it's way more than just following rules.
Oh, yeah, much more. Oh, that's part of it.
But it has these really tangible, significant effects on your overall well-being, mental and physical.
Absolutely. If we tie it all up, working on these positive traits,
Yeah.
it can lead to richer relationships, more support.
Healthier habits. We talked about that.
Yeah, healthier choices, and potentially even just feeling less stressed day to day.
It creates that positive feedback loop you mentioned.
Exactly. Benefiting you and probably the people around you too.
So ultimately, making that conscious effort to build good character, it's not just like a noble idea. It sounds like a really practical strategy.
Yeah, a powerful and practical way to enhance your own life and maybe make the world a tiny bit better too.
Right. A positive impact.
So maybe as a final thought, something to take away from this deep dive, a good question to maybe ask yourself is, which specific bit of character, which trait might you want to focus on developing right now?
Just one thing to start with.
Yeah. And then maybe think about what kind of ripple effect could even a small intentional shift there, what could that have on your overall well-being, on how you interact with everyone?
That's a really good thought to hold on to.
Definitely worth pondering. Yeah.